Anybody get a head count on that? Because we want to make sure we get the same number coming back. You get that many, you might lose one here and there, but I think they have it under control. How many of you have ever felt like you failed at something in life? Big, and what I mean, and I'm not talking about the math test that you didn't study for. I'm talking about there's just certain areas of your life you felt like, well, I wish I could go back and do that differently. Maybe it was a job that it just didn't work out the way that you'd hoped. Maybe it's a marriage. How many families here today have been affected by divorce? Oh, look, all of us. And when those of you that have gone through one personally, did you feel a level of failure on your part? No. All right. But that's a legitimate answer. Sometimes it's not, hey, why did this happen? Sometimes it is. But sometimes it's that idea of, boy, I wish I would have done that differently. How about with raising children? Yeah. Oh, my. I got one here, so I got to be careful. But that's a difficult task, isn't it, guys? Here's I'm going to give you a news flash. None of us got it all right. Here's another one. None of us got it all wrong. We're doing the very best that we can with what we have and what we know, right? Isn't that what all parents do? The very best that we know how? But isn't it amazing how a little misstep here, a little misguided direction there, and we get to this point, this feeling, this emotion of failure. Man, I can't fix that. I can't go back and redo that. And we have some regrets as we look back on that. But I'm going to Acts chapter 13 today because I want you to know there was a man that failed in ministry. His name was John Mark. And we just read this Wednesday nights here not long ago, and we talked about John Mark, and we don't really know a lot of the details about this. Well, it just went to sleep. I talked too long. But in Acts chapter 13 and verse 13, it says that when they were in Paphos, that Paul and his companions, that they were setting out, that they were going on this missionary journey to Pamphylia, and it says, and John Mark left them to return to Jerusalem. Now, wait a minute. We got to set the stage a little bit, I think. They're going on missionary journeys. This is the early church, and they're going around and they're doing a follow-up. How are the churches doing after a year? How are the churches doing after the council at Jerusalem that we went and met with them on? How are the churches in the region? And so they went around in these missionary journeys and they touched bases with the churches. We don't know why John Mark left. We don't know if it was personal. We don't know if it was a family issue. We don't know if it was a health issue. The only thing that we know is it says that he went back to Jerusalem when everybody else was going around. Maybe he was just young and overwhelmed. Maybe he was homesick. Maybe he got scared. You know, they were killing Christians back then. Maybe it got too much for him. Maybe when they dragged Paul outside the city and stoned him and left him for dead, John Mark said, wait a minute, guys. We don't know. But here's the thing. It was enough that Paul said, I don't want him going next time. No, he can go with you, but he's not going with me. Now let me ask you. if you're John Mark